And welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on SportsTownChicago.com at the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. I'm Alex LoCicero, and joining us today from Marion Catholic, home of the Spartans, head coach Dave Mattio. We have junior running back Jeruel Taylor, and joining us in just a little bit is junior quarterback John Rhode. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Our pleasure.
Now, successful season. You guys were 7-3 overall. What's the one thing that sticks out from the season right off the bat, finishing above 500?
Well, we've come up a couple of years ago. We were 1-8, and we were young, we were thin, and due to the work of John and a number of other young kids, they've put their time in, and some of the seniors that have graduated, we were able to win 7 ball games for 2 years in a row. There was a time back in the 90s and early 2000s when 9 or 10 wins each season was kind of the norm, and that's what we're trying to get back to. I think these kids have put in an awful lot of time, and they have an ownership in what they're going to do, and hopefully they'll star next year just as they have the last 2 years.
Now, Jeruel, Coach talked about turning the season around and the team around from where it was several years ago. You've been an integral part of that at running back. What stuck out to you most from this season?
I just think we're close. Every time, coming up 2 years ago, it was 7-4, making it second round in the playoffs, and just last season 7-3 in the first round. I think we have the team to keep going. All we have to do is we have to keep fighting hard and keep pressing on.
Now, Coach mentioned that you guys platoon a lot of players, which for our listeners at home means that there's a separate set of players for offense and defense. You actually get to play both ways. What do you prefer, offense or defense?
I prefer offense.
Oh, any reason why he might prefer offense there?
Well, he's a very gifted young man, and that's where all the notoriety comes from. Nobody worries about a defensive player, but you gain 1,000 yards in a season at the high school level, you're a real star, and this kid is a real star.
What's been your one memory of Jeruel so far throughout his 3 years at Marion?
Well, I think probably the biggest thing is you can depend on him in just about any situation. He doesn't say anything, and the biggest thing is he's a tremendous practice player. We actually have to find ways to take him out of practice to rest him, and he finds ways to sneak back on. And it's a pleasure to be around him when we practice, and it proves itself out in the ball game because he's always able to come up with a big play or two when we need it, and all the other plays that he has are very consistent. And probably the greatest thing is that I think people like to block for him. I think they like his style. And as he mentioned, a little bit about the closeness, a lot of people use the term chemistry, and I think that's probably very, very important with these kids.
Now, Jeruel, we're first of all glad that you're not being completely quiet here today, but we have your quarterback, John Rhode, with us here in the studio, and I can imagine that you guys like to run a lot of plays on the offense, but between you two, what's your favorite play to run? Is there any kind of handoff or a specific formation that you two feel really comfortable with?
I have to say the veer is really interesting, because he does a little fake, or he has to read the defensive end, and so 9 times out of 10, either the defensive end bails or he stays. So if he stays, Johnny takes off with the ball. And I remember one time in practice, we ran the veer to the left, and everybody fell for me getting the ball because Johnny faked it and took off for the score in practice. So I think I really got a good chemistry with him.
Now, Coach, is there anything that you guys do off the field or in the offseason to help build that chemistry?
Well, I think, one of the things that we have at the high school now is we've got multi-sport athletes. So, the days where you tell a kid you're going to be in the weight room, they don't really exist. And as long as I tell the kids if you're going to be faithful to another program, by all means get involved. I think probably these kids have team dinners. I used to live in Richton Park, which was close to Marion, and for years on Thursday nights we'd have the offense come to my house and we'd feed them, and the defensive kids would go to Bob Bergstrom's house, who was a longtime coach with us, and we started a little bit of a chemistry that way. And then that's been continued. The parents have fed the kids. I think it's on a weekly basis. You guys go somewhere. And I even know some of these guys get together and they go to Hooters or they go to another place to eat and have fun. And you purely go there to eat, I know that.
Now, it's a big thing is, Coach, we know you played at Northern after your high school career. Is there anything that you would like to go on and play at? If you could go to any college, let's say, and continue your football career, where would that be?
I really don't know, but it would be somewhere where I want to go into a field of architecture, or architecture and engineering. So in his school, I really will look into, what kind of majors they have that I'm interested in, and then, I would, they have a football team. I would look into that too.
Well, Jeruel, thank you for joining us. We will be right back in a moment with head coach Dave Mattio, and joining us will be junior quarterback John Rhode here on Coach's Corner on SportsTownChicago.com.
Do you love sports? Consider a career in sports broadcasting at the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. Go to beonair.com for more info or click on this video and start your career in sports broadcasting today.
At the Illinois Center for Broadcasting Lombard campus, you're not planning for a job, but a career you love.
I'm doing things that I never thought I would be doing.
I learned so many different broadcasting techniques here at ICB.
Lombard's own state-of-the-art facility means hands-on training with the latest technology.
I learned from instructors who actually work in the broadcasting industry.
Whether your passion is radio or television, gain the experience for your future in broadcasting. Class is starting soon. Visit our website, call or text today.
And welcome back to Coach's Corner here on SportsTownChicago.com at the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. I'm Alex LoCicero, and still with us is the head coach of Marion Catholic, home of the Spartans, Dave Mattio, and joining us now is junior quarterback John Rhode. John, thank you for joining us. Now, John, we just had your partner in crime at running back Jeruel on the show. We asked him, what's his favorite play to run? Is that the same play for you that you like to run, or is there anything else that you absolutely, in a play, it comes down to it, that's the one play you want to run?
Well, it's definitely the veer because, it's supposed to be a read for me, but occasionally during a game, he'll get a couple runs where he'll get 12 yards or 15 yards, and he won't even let me make the read. He'll just take it right out of my hands. And then, he'll take the ball again, and it'll end up being a guy there, and I'll get yelled at because he takes the ball right out of my hands.
Would Coach be yelling at you, or is it someone else?
It's usually not Coach Mattio. It's usually Coach Taylor.
Coach, what's one memory you have from this past season with John at quarterback?
Just his toughness throughout the whole season. We're big into the concept of team. And I think both these young men have bought into that. We were awful young, both offensively and defensively. And one of the things that we were not able to do with a lot of consistency was throw the ball. So I think John gave up a little bit on that end as a quarterback, number-wise, to maybe make us a better team. And I think Jeruel sees that moment, to take the ball from John and produce some big yardage out of it. But I think probably that's the greatest thing in the world. And, there's always the story that John will tell that he walked into the building and I told him he was going to be a quarterback. And I think right now he believes he's in a linebacker's body and he's got a linebacker's mentality. But he's been a great quarterback. He was with the sophomores as a freshman and came up, as a junior or as a sophomore, and just did a marvelous job for us, managing everything and being cool under pressure. And I think this past year we also saw some things where he came out as a real leader towards the end of the year, and I'm looking for great things in those areas this year.
A 7-3 season as a junior has got to be all well and good, but I'm sure you have your eyes set on a bigger prize for your senior year. What would you like to accomplish during that senior year?
Well, me and Jeruel, I want to win a state championship with Jeruel. Playing all 4 years with him, that's just my goal next year.
Now, Coach, obviously it's nice to have the goal and all, but the offseason is big time to do that. What are you guys doing now in the offseason to get ready for next year?
Well, those kids that aren't involved in, winter sports season or now the spring season coming up, we open the weight room up for them 3 times during the week, Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We lift with kind of an isolated routine day by day. We also have some special conditioning or core work or, quick feet agility type things. And then Saturday mornings, we bring them in at 7 o'clock. And when we originally started the program, it was to keep them off the street on Friday night. And it's just kind of blossomed into, we don't get great attendance, but I think by the time, everything is said and done, they enjoy it. They work for probably 45 minutes, and then they play dodgeball or play basketball or do something competitive. I've got a special garbage can that I carry around for those kids that can't control their breakfast intake. And we have a special Phil Faso bucket that we bring in every week, and he fulfills it.
John, the last question I do want to ask you, we asked Jeruel the same thing. If you could play for any college, what would it be, and do you have any college plans at the moment?
It would definitely be Duke or Notre Dame. Just Notre Dame because of the tradition, and Duke, they're my favorite college. So.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here on Coach's Corner. I want to thank junior quarterback John Rhode. I want to thank head coach Dave Mattio, and I also want to thank Jeruel Taylor for joining us as well earlier in the show. I'm Alex LoCicero, and for all the latest Coach's Corner and updates, go to sportstownchicago.com.